We tend to think of our connection to another person as a feeling, but to your brain, it is a map, a predictive model of the world. Your attachment isn't just a subjective warmth, it's a deeply encoded set of neurological expectations about safety and reliability. This map, built over months or years, becomes the primary tool your brain uses to navigate the social world and answer its most fundamental question: am I safe? It dictates your breathing, your heart rate, your stress responses when that person is near or far. It is a biological tether, not just an emotional one. When that person, the cornerstone of the map, betrays or leaves you, the model doesn't just bend, it shatters. This is experienced not merely as sadness, but as a profound cognitive dissonance. It's a critical error message flashing in the most ancient parts of your brain, like the amygdala and brainstem. The system that evolved over millennia to keep you alive by forming secure bonds has just registered a catastrophic failure. The world, as predicted by your internal map, has ceased to exist, plunging you into a state of primal, directionless alarm. Immediately, your brain begins a radical process of recalibration. It's useful to stop thinking of trust as a feeling and start seeing it as a cognitive algorithm. It's a piece of predictive code that has been fine-tuned with thousands of data points from one primary source, your partner. Every promise kept, every moment of support, was a data point that strengthened the algorithm's conclusion. This is a secure variable. This process is managed, in part, by the orbital frontal cortex, which assesses the value and risk of social interactions. The betrayal marks that entire, massive dataset as corrupted. Your brain's internal auditor, the anterior cingulate cortex, which is highly active when detecting errors between expectation and reality, goes into overdrive. It effectively screams that the core operating assumption was wrong. The algorithm must be rewritten, but the most recent, most powerful data point is the failure itself. Consequently, variables like vulnerability are assigned a much higher risk score, and skepticism becomes a default command in the new code. This isn't pessimism, it's a logical update based on traumatic new data. This rewriting process is not abstract. It is brutally physical. It is neuroplasticity in action. According to Hebbian theory, neurons that fire together wire together. Before, neurons representing your partner fired in sync with circuits for safety, joy, and the future. Now, those same partner-specific neurons are firing simultaneously with circuits for acute pain, social rejection, and existential threat. This repeated co-activation forges powerful new synaptic connections. It physically binds the concept of your partner to the sensation of danger. This is why you cannot simply decide to get over it. You aren't trying to erase a memory. You are fighting against a newly constructed, physically instantiated neural reality. The emotional flashbacks, the intrusive thoughts, they are the echoes of these new, hyper-efficient pathways firing. Over time, the intensity may fade, but the pathway itself remains. It becomes a permanent part of your neural architecture, like scar tissue. It's a road that will always exist in your brain, even if you learn to take different routes. Here, however, something counterintuitive occurs. The complete shattering of your core beliefs about love and trust, what psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun call a seismic event for the psyche, creates the necessary conditions for post-traumatic growth. This is not the cliché that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It is far more precise. It is the observation that when a person's fundamental assumptions about the world are invalidated, they are forced to build a new, more complex, and often more profound worldview from scratch. Your old value system, consciously or not, led to this outcome. Therefore, your brain flags the entire system as faulty. In the process of rebuilding, you might develop a completely new hierarchy of values. Suddenly, personal autonomy might become more important than romantic partnership. Or a newfound spiritual belief emerges to provide a new sense of meaning. You are forced to become a philosopher of your own life, creating new principles because the old ones led to ruin. This is the birth of new character. This collapse extends all the way to your sense of self. Consider the Michelangelo phenomenon, a concept in social psychology. It posits that close partners sculpt each other, affirming and shaping traits to help one another achieve their ideal self. Your partner wasn't just a companion, they were an active architect of your identity, a mirror that reflected a specific version of you. They held a blueprint for a part of your personality, and when they leave, they take the blueprint with them. This creates an identity vacuum. The question, "Who am I without them?" is not melodrama. It's a literal neurological query. A significant portion of the neural networks that defined your daily routines, your future plans, and your self-concept are now pointing to a null value. They are circuits without a destination. This state of profound uncertainty activates the brain's default mode network, the system involved in self-referential thought. It goes into hyperdrive, constantly searching for a new, coherent narrative of me. The brain's desperate search for a new narrative explains the radical life changes that often follow a major loss. Moving to a new city, changing careers, picking up an obscure hobby, these are not distractions. They are frantic, subconscious attempts to gather new data points. Each new skill learned, each new place explored, each new person met provides raw material for the default mode network to weave into a new tapestry of self. It is an act of identity reconstruction born of necessity. Finally, these disparate threads integrate. The newly cautious trust algorithm, the physically rewired neural pathways, the more complex values born from trauma, and the reconstructed identity built from new experiences. They don't just sit alongside the old you. They merge to form a completely new psychological operating system. This is why the change is permanent. You have not recovered. You have been rewritten. You are running on different code, prompted by a catastrophic system error. You are, neurologically and fundamentally, not the same person who first fell in love. Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.